Hello, welcome back to the channel and welcome to another F122 video. So a couple of videos back I did promise that I was going to show you what it looks like through the lens in VR. Well, just to start the video off, I just wanted to show the different views of F122 just so you get some idea of the difference, because this is a 4K replay. Brilliant race I've had at Spa. As I'm getting better at the game, I'm up in the level of the AI. Qualified on pole, had a bad start, ended up in 5th position, was stuck behind George Russell, a bit of tussling, and in the end I managed to get past. I think take it down the inside, and in the end he concedes, so I'm faster and just gives the place up and I get through. Up into 4th place now, Sergio Perez is just in front, and both the Red Bulls are on the medium tyres, me being on the softs. I've got the tyre advantage and I'm putting pressure and pressure and pressure because I feel like I'm faster than Sergio, although the Red Bulls are quick around this track. And keeping that pressure on, I'm finally able to make the manoeuvre on Sergio. So that moves me on to Max Verstappen, and once again having the tyre advantage, I go up on the outside, he's on the medium tyres, he causes him to have a very rare mistake, and I easily get past on the outside. So having moved into 2nd place, I'm coming up on Charles Leclerc, but I'm told to box this lap. Now I think that's to cover Charles because he is also coming into the pits as well. Following him in, coming racing down the pit lane, he's hit the pit speed limiter. I'm doing the same. Now obviously he's going to get out in front of me. I'm just coming in. I'm going to try and hopefully complete the pit stop as best as I can. I meaning in my getaway, because once they've changed tyres, you've got to go the minute the light goes green. So it wasn't too bad. Bit of a gap between us, but we're back out on track, and obviously stopping for that pit stop has now put us out of position. So we'll go back to the race result at the end of this video. Now going back to the topic of the video, the different views of F122, especially in VR. Now this view I do believe is the view there are a lot of people play this game in, but that's going to be if you're racing on a 2D screen. Now even if you're racing on a 2D screen, if you want to make your racing more realistic, this is the view I believe that you should be playing in from the cockpit view. Now the difference from this view, although it's in the 4K replay, to what you see when I'm racing in VR, when I'm capturing the Steam VR mirror, is this. So this is footage from my previous video where I'm capturing the Steam VR mirror. Now what you're seeing on screen is the cockpit view, but obviously it's not static because in VR you actually see my head moving around, and you could perhaps say it's more of a helmet cam view than it is a cockpit view. But what I want to get over to you guys at home, if you don't use VR, this isn't what you see in VR. The image in VR is different because in the Steam VR mirror you're capturing the left or right eye and you don't see the full surround view. Also the view in VR doesn't look as sharp or as clear as that. And the only way I can try and get across to you what F122 looks like in VR is to show you the footage I've captured using my action cam. Now, a bit like the Steam VR mirror, this footage is just through the left eyepiece of the HP Reverb G2. Now, the flickering that you're getting is not present in the headset. This is because the headset's running at 90 Hz. This camera records at 2.5K 60 Hz, but I've actually upscaled this to 4K The reason I've done that, because it's an action cam, it's got a fisheye lens. The only way I can get a flat image is to do a 2.5K image capture. Now, for the people that have commented saying that F122 in VR doesn't look clear, it's blurry, I've got to completely disagree. F122 in VR is one of the best looking VR racing games currently available. As you can see on screen, ignore that flicker, and you've got to also appreciate that from that view there, with the HP Reverb G2, there is a sweet spot, and with the lens of the camera, trying to move the VR headset and keep the center of the camera in that sweet spot is extremely difficult. Obviously, when you're in the VR headset, you're looking through both eyes and you've got a 3D image around you. Unfortunately, VR's one of those things that, unless you actually experience it for yourself, it's very difficult to convey what it actually looks like. But this is giving you a real good idea of what F122 looks like in VR. And as I've already mentioned, it's one of the clearest VR racing games to date. Now, just showing you static footage from in the pits wasn't really what I wanted to do, and I wanted to try and capture the car moving. But trying to hold the VR headset, hold the action cam, and drive the car at the same time is practically impossible. I could do the pedal controls, but I wasn't able to steer. Not only that, F122 does not like you stopping anywhere on track, and if you're not moving, it kicks you out the game and retires you from whatever race you're in. So after failing on this attempt, I got Mrs. Houseborn to try and do the steering for me. And that is coming up in the footage right now, by which time it was raining. So this also gives you an idea of what it's like. And as I mentioned, it's almost like a helmet cam view, and you do get the rain droplets as if they were streaming down your visor. Now, because VR is so immersive, you actually feel the effects of the weather and the different lighting. And I do think it's bizarre how it tricks the brain. Actually racing in the rain, it does make you feel like you're driving in rain. It's so peculiar and bizarre how, because you feel like you're sat in the car and you're there, you are in that moment and you can feel the different weather conditions. And I've got to actually, as I've just mentioned, the change of light, you don't get this from racing on a 2D screen. You actually feel the difference in the change of light, and it's actually more difficult to see at different times of brightness and darkness in the VR headset, as it would be in real life. And just while we're talking about VR headsets, this is the HP Reverb G2. It is a 4K VR headset. I just want to draw your attention to the 200, then the 150, 150 meter signs of how clear they are. Now, the HP Reverb G2 is a 4K VR headset. I am using an RTX 3080 Ti to drive it, and it's a lot. To max VR currently is a lot. Now, there are newer GPUs on the way, both from AMD and Nvidia, and rumours have been up to 2 times performance increase. And forget about, 8K VR headsets. With the new GPUs, we might finally be able to start maxing VR racing titles. But just because you can max the settings doesn't mean it's going to massively improve the viewing distance in VR. That's down to the lenses and maybe that will be improved in later headsets. As we're coming towards the end of the video, I'm going to quickly update you on the race from the start of the video. So after moving through the field, I caught Charles Leclerc. I got past him. I was leading the race in first place. I thought I was on for my very first victory, where the settings were pushed, nearer to my limits. But what actually happened was I was on the mediums. Max Verstappen, on a set of soft tyres, come charging towards me, put a lot of pressure on me, and he did force me into a mistake. I dropped it almost on the last lap. Coming out the chicane, I'd spun the wheels up slightly, caught it, but he got past me and I just could not catch him. He was too fast. This has been F1 22 in VR. Absolutely loving this at the moment. It ticks all the boxes, it's authentic, the tracks look really good, and I will be back soon in more videos. Peace out.